Okay. Yeah, you can hear me? Uh, Go to participants. Okay, that's what you wanted, right?
Yes, sir. Sir, now you can share your webcam.
Uh, okay.
Done, sir. Abhi, sir, you have a PPT to share today? PPT here.
Yes, yes.
The third option, sir. Share screen.
Yes. I can hang up the phone now because we can talk.
Huh, sir.
And should I keep you unlocked during the call?
No, no, sir. You can lock me after this.
Okay, now
अभी आप
wait.
शेयर स्क्रीन कर दीजिए सर. सर फोन में ऑलरेडी कट कर चुका हूँ सर.
Okay,
आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द लैपटॉप.
okay, good. So now the third option is share screen, entire screen, share, and
अभी मिनिमाइज कर दीजिए सर. ओपन योर पीपीटी सर.
इसको मिनिमाइज कर दूं?
हाँ सर.
और नहीं, इसको मुझे चैट को यहाँ लेना है. Who's Tanuj?
ये मिनिमाइज कर दीजिए सर.
Okay. Okay, hi Tanuj. Okay, very cool. You're a student. Okay, I'm just setting it up. Huh? Just give me one moment, Tanuj. And okay, so now Tanuj is online. And Tanuj, can you see my screen with
यस सर. यस
a
सर.
video marketing title slide?
सर वी
Okay,
कैन सी
cool.
योर स्क्रीन.
Okay, very cool. And uh, see, I have a student online, and Tanuj, is my audio clear?
यस सर. इट इज वेरी क्लियर सर. प्रदीप हियर. इट इज वेरी क्लियर.
Okay, very good. So
सर
now,
आई एम म्यूट सर. संदीप सर. यू गुड टू गो.
yeah, so I'll start at 3 o'clock. Very good, Tanuj. Yeah,
नो.
I'll start at
नो
3
इशू.
o'clock.
नो इशू.
I'll put you on mute, Pradeep.
ओके सर. डन सर.
Audio check 1 2 3. Audio check 1 2 3. Can you hear me loud and clear, please? Cool. So, guys, thanks for joining in. I'm just waiting for sharp 3 o'clock before we start our show. We have 19, 20 participants so far. Good. Let's give it a couple of more minutes for others to join. Yeah, thanks. I'm glad audio, video, everything is working fine. Um, I just want to caution you that in case you guys are having any trouble implying your video is lagging or audio is not clear, that in that scenario the culprit is possibly mobile data. Probably you are in a bad location or your mobile data bandwidth is poor. Otherwise, from our end, we're all set up. Okay, guys. So, good afternoon to all of you. It's sharp 3 o'clock, and we start on time. We're going to be online for about 75 to 90 minutes, depending on your questions and the pace of the webinar. So, I'll just introduce myself in a while, but let's just start off by wishing everybody a good afternoon. I'll try to take your questions while we are delivering the webinar, but I would prefer to take most of the questions in the end because in the normal course of discussions, a lot of questions would get answered on their own. And for the pending ones, we'll take them in the end. But if you have any question, thought, something you want to share, please feel free to put it up on chat. I'm not going to be opening up audio lines for you to speak because that creates its own issues. So our Q&A and engagement is going to be predominantly through the chat. So today's webinar is about video marketing. And why I chose this topic is because if you look at Gen Z or Gen Z, whatever you call it, they're extremely familiar with video content consumption. But the idea today is to dive deeper into how you can use video marketing both as an art and a science. So before we delve into it, let me give you a quick introduction about myself. My name is Sandeep Sharma, and I've spent about 24 odd years in the IT and high tech industry, having worked for companies like HP Enterprise, Oracle, Sun Microsystems, IBM Global Services, Intel, Metagraphics, and Mindware. Most of my stints have been either regional, that is APAC wide, or global. I've spent 12 years overseas, predominantly in the US, but then some time in Europe and Singapore as well. My skill set is very broad, and for those who want to know, who want to get to know me better, I suggest you guys go to my LinkedIn profile and check it out. My interests are pretty broad. I teach about 13 to 14 different courses. But if I were to sum up my interests, then they are around digital marketing, marketing analytics, e-commerce, digital business, IT sales and marketing. No surprise there because I've spent my entire career in the IT and high tech industry. And then uh, digital transformation, marketing strategy, data science, AI, blockchain, Internet of Things, cybersecurity, and then obviously I did an undergrad in physics, and I continue to be interested in that. And then medicine is something that I've been interested in since my childhood. Uh, I've been teaching for the last 4 to 5 years, along with some consulting. I've been teaching at IFIM for a while now. And in the past, I've also taught at IIM Indore, Lucknow, Sambalpur, Bangalore, MICA, which is in Ahmedabad. Maybe most of you have heard of it. And then IMT Ghaziabad. By way of education, uh, could not emphasize continuous learning, but by way of formal education, I have an undergrad in physics and a master's in computer science from Defense Research and Development Organization. Have done about 60 plus courses from global B schools, a ton of industry certifications. Uh, right, so that's a little bit about me. Now let's dive into the topic. So, setting expectations. What are you going to learn today from our webinar? The 75 or 90 minutes of time you're going to invest. First, we'll understand why video marketing is such a powerful, versatile, and effective marketing channel online. All of us are heavy consumers of online content, predominantly video. But today we'll try to delve a little deeper into how do you go about creating, marketing, promoting your videos. So we will look at some of the steps that you take to produce online videos. And then when we talk about online media in particular, we classify them into three categories: paid media, earned media, and owned media. So let me kind of demystify that. Let's say you have a Facebook page, the brand controls it, so that's your own media. The organic engagement that you get on your Facebook page, is earned media because you're literally earning that, the engagement and uh, comments and likes and all that stuff, and shares, of course. And paid media, your sponsored post on Facebook or any paid campaign would be paid media. So typically in the online world, we tend to classify media into three kinds. And the example that I gave you, your Facebook page being owned media, the organic engagement being earned media, and your Facebook paid campaigns being paid media is one instance where the same platform, Facebook in this case, can enable all three different kinds of media. Uh, the thing about these different kinds of media is that when you leverage them together, they have a multiplicative or an exponential impact. So before I, dive into video marketing, let me set the stage about, different generations that we've had over the past, let's say, 120 years or so, and the differences in behavior of those generations, the differences in values, ethos. So 1900 to 1945, we're talking about Ford Model T, the traditionalists. These are the people that respect authority. They try to save money for a rainy day, work hard, lots of work ethics, committed and loyal. And then obviously we had these baby boomers, 1946 to 64. These guys obviously have lots of money. They are competitive, goal centric, resourceful, materialistic. And now these guys have reached a certain age uh, where they have a lot of discretionary money to spend. So a lot of brands actually target baby boomers for their products and services or when they run their ad campaigns. Then we have Gen X, which is something even I belong to. They tend to be well educated, they emphasize education, usually adept with technology, flexible, they value work life balance, meaning, they have work ethics, but at the same time, they want some freedom of expression in their personal lives as well. And then I'm sure all of you have heard of millennials, 1981 onwards to 2000, connected and collaborative, seek instant gratification, seek lots of status and rewards and recognition, tech savvy, but we are still talking about the point where internet had not reached everybody early on in life. And understand the change in terminology, because from work-life balance, we're talking about work-life integration. So if you were to talk to Jeff Bezos, he wouldn't talk about work-life balance, because your work has invaded life and your life has invaded work. So it's all about how you integrate the two instead of balancing the two. And then the current generation, Gen Z, 2000 onwards, these guys are digital natives. These guys grew up on the internet, also on the mobile platform, smart devices. These guys are entrepreneurial, more accepting of people with, let's say, disabilities, LGBTQ, and they tend to be health conscious. So why I'm talking about these generations is will be clear in a moment, because there's obviously a lot of difference in the behavior of these generations, right? And because of the environment, economic, social, political, technical that they've interacted with. But now um, we talk about something different. We talk about Gen C, the letter C. Have any of you heard of it? Gen C? Don't Google, just let me know on chat. Gen C. Okay. Basabjit is saying no. That's good. Neha is saying no. Interesting. Generation after COVID. That's certainly interesting, Sugant. That's a pretty innovative answer. And I'm sure the world will be very different after this thing settles down. Pretty innovative answer. But then let me talk about it. See, Gen C is not about age. It's not about an age based cohort. It's about a certain behavior. And the four C's that characterize this behavior, which is about content creation or curation of existing content, connection with their peer groups, I'm referring to network effects, and sense of belongingness to a community. So Gen Z is not about age, It's about a certain behavior which has been uh, inculcated because of the online age that we live in. So it's more of a state of mind, and it would be not appropriate to say that only somebody young in 20s or teens is a part of Gen Z. Even an older person can demonstrate the same behavior. These guys like to be constantly connected. YouTube is a favorite port of call for these guys, including, of course, things like Netflix and Hotstar. I'm referring to over the top delivery of content. They strive for self expression. You can think of all of you on Insta as a micro influencer. So you guys are always expressing yourself and trying to promote your point of view. You guys are tastemakers. And also, these guys tend to become brand advocates. In case they bond with a brand, they tend to talk about it. And that's where the element of virality comes in. So, guys, for brands and for marketers of all kinds, even for analytics professional, we're talking about considerable change in behavior of the present consumer. So this is what the brands are grappling with. So Gen Z is now your new consumer. Okay, so now what is great about video? So we set the stage about Gen Z that these guys like to create content, including video content, curate existing content or third party or second party content. They like to connect with their peer groups, and they have a sense of belongingness, based on self identification with tribes, communities, etc., etc. So now what's great about video is it offers an extremely rich, engaging, and stimulating experience. Okay, it's an immersive and experiential medium, meaning that you yourself tend to put you tend to put yourself in that situation and maybe imagine how you would play it out or behave. High retention, it's strong attention hooks, and also it has a strong emotional effect. It tends to arouse a lot of emotions: fear, surprise, shock, awe, love, caring. So it's a powerful way of starting conversations, not only between individuals but between brands and individuals, etc. And when you talk about this concept of brand storytelling, it's an ideal medium because it literally humanizes the brand. It gives a human face to the brand. Video is also very good at building connection and trust. And when it comes to ad campaigns, they boost conversions. So conversion is, in digital marketing parlance, it is something that's, you can define it as anything: downloading a case study, making an online inquiry, or concluding an online sale. All of them could be categorized as conversions or micro conversions, and they tend to have a huge return on investment compared to other channels, like banner ads, for example. And Google's web crawler, the Google bot, loves videos. So if you want to rank high on Google search results, I'm referring to organic rankings, not paid rankings. And then if you have a lot of video content, you guys can occupy higher ranks. I'm referring to brands. Appeals to mobile users because we all know that the platform of choice has shifted from desktop and now to laptops, and then more of tablets and smartphones. And also, people, when they engage with the video on mobile devices, they have a tendency to share a lot. Remember, just a while back, we talked about the present generation's attitude to connect and share. And then the thing is that it appeals to varying demographics. People in their 60s, 70s. People may consume different kinds of video content. Their tastes or their inclinations may be different, but then we see that across demographics, people do like to engage with and consume video. So this is actually a video that possibly, if I have time, at the end of the webinar, I'll probably play it out. And it's a beautiful example of a brand engaging in video marketing. But for now, momentarily, I'll skip it. And when the webinar ends, and if you are left with spare time, you guys just remind me, and I'll play a couple of videos which I think are remarkable examples of brands using video marketing in a very powerful manner, not overtly salesy, in a very subtle, strong, influencing manner. So now let's talk about YouTube, the first port of call, because the moment you think videos, you think YouTube. I'll tell you something interesting. Between YouTube and Netflix, these two sites are called net bombs. Any reason why? Any of you know why they call net bombs? Net bombs. Between YouTube and Netflix, they're called net bombs. Anybody has any idea on the chat why? Any guesses? Hope you can hear me clearly. Can you? Tanuj is saying most of this generation uses it. Yeah, but why a net bomb? And that's a slang actually. It's a pretty interesting slang. Basabjeet is saying best for paid promotion. Well, it's a pretty it's a slangish kind of a word. But what I was trying to say is that if you've heard of this concept of net neutrality and stuff like that, then the fact is that between Netflix and YouTube, uh, they almost consume 50% of the bandwidth in the world, right? They hog all the bandwidth, and they're called net bombs because it's the telcos, the Reliance Geos or Tata Communications and all these kind of companies that laid the copper and the fiber and the undersea cable. They laid the infrastructure, but then companies like YouTube or Netflix are the ones monetizing on top of that infrastructure. That's a side discussion about net neutrality, maybe some other time. Okay, so the fact is, Google is the largest search engine in the world, but maybe some of you didn't know that YouTube is the second largest search engine and is the second most visited site in the world. People on YouTube are not lost. They express precise intent driven behavior, meaning that they exactly are looking for they have a purpose in mind and they're looking for a certain kind of content. Okay, they are not doing random browsing most of the times. Um, it also happens to be the second most popular social media, obviously after Facebook, with 1.9 billion unique users. 400 hours of video are uploaded every minute on YouTube. 1 billion hours of videos are watched every day, more than Facebook and Netflix combined. But a bit more on that later, because you'd be surprised to know that both YouTube and Facebook measure video views quite differently. And no surprises, 70% of the views come from mobile devices as a result. And we all know why in 2012, 2013. Before then, Facebook was essentially a desktop based platform, why they pivoted to a pure mobile based platform. Very sticky meaning people tend to linger a lot on it. So the average mobile viewing session is more than 40 minutes. And then there's this word called asymmetric competitor to broadcast or cable TV. Asymmetric competitor is a nice term. Symmetric competitor would be, let's say, a Honda versus Toyota would be, they would be symmetric competitors. But let's say Uber or Toyota are asymmetric competitors because even though Uber is not a car manufacturer, it serves the same underlying need of transportation. So essentially, people taking more of Uber might be hurting Honda or Toyota sales. So in terms of attention, YouTube is an asymmetric competitor to broadcast or cable TV. And if you know this Interbrand top 100 brands list, they collectively upload a video every 18 or 19 minutes. And music videos tend to be most popular, but then all of us have different kinds of tastes and inclinations and content consumption behavior. So now something interesting, how different platforms like Insta, YouTube, or Facebook count video views. We've all heard this term lies, and then there's this damn statistics. So, on Insta, stories are counted as impressions and the views are incremented at a 3 second mark. But the interesting thing is on YouTube, you're looking at more than 5 billion video views per day. Uh, and the video view on YouTube is incremented at a 30 second mark. Now, if you look at statistics, okay, Facebook says, hey, I'm doing more video views than YouTube. I'm doing 8 billion video views a day. But the interesting thing to note, the disclaimer, the fine print is that YouTube increments video views at, let's say, on an average 3 second mark. So while a video view on, Facebook increments video view at a 3 second mark. So while a video view on YouTube is incremented at 30-second mark, the same is 3 second mark on Facebook. So what you've just understood is that a video view on YouTube is not the same as a video view on Facebook. But towards the end of the webinar, we'll dive a little bit deeper into the nature and characteristic of video views on Facebook. Okay, so guys, UGC, user generated content. When you guys shoot amateur videos, funny video clips, home videos, you're referring to content that is called consumer generated content, CGC, or user generated content used as alternatives. Now, see, 20, 25 years ago, creating videos was hard. The smartphones were not around. And I still remember the time when I ended up buying a camcorder to shoot home videos, pretty expensive, thousand odd dollars. But now, literally, the power to make a video and a good video is literally in everybody's hands. So, from the perspective of a camera, you could go all the way to a top of the line camera, a Sony Alpha, or a mid-range DSLR, or even smartphones. You know that even movies have been shot on smartphones. Um, and then microphone, you need something noise canceling so that it doesn't pick up all the background noise, unnecessary noise, a lavalier microphone. And then obviously you need human talent that can work with video editing software, which is your choice: Movie Maker, iMovie, Final Cut Pro, Adobe After Effects, Filmmaker Pro, lots and lots of choices. Adobe Premiere Clip is another popular choice. Okay. Um, Tanuj is saying, as we search anything on Google or web, its advertisement comes on YouTube, sir. Yes, Tanuj, that is correct. And that is known as, targeting and retargeting. For example, and that's a little bit of a sidetrack, Tanuj, but for example, you're looking for insurance, right? Vehicle insurance or life insurance or health insurance on Google. And boom, you go to YouTube and it's spooky that you're seeing an insurance advertisement from ICICI Lombard or ICICI Prudential. That's interesting. And we'll just come to it in a minute, because that's how you target people based on their interests and behavior. So now, through cookies and all, we know that you're browsing about some kind of insurance. On YouTube, I can choose to display my video ads to people who are expressing certain intent, certain interest, or who may be in the market for a product or service. For example, insurance in this case. Okay, so that's an interesting comment. And it kind of sets the background for the slide when we talk about audience targeting, right? So now, guys, two kinds of video. First is pure organic video content that you see on YouTube, like how-to guides, tutorials, explainer videos, conference talks, video presentations, where people try to inspire you, move you emotionally, educate you in a fun, informative, entertaining, and light-hearted manner. Uh, Reveal the unexpected, shock, awe, surprise, right? That's a kind of content that stirs emotions. And valuable industry updates. You can go and learn Python on YouTube, R on YouTube. If you want educational content, you could go to YouTube, and the full MIT course content on artificial intelligence is there. So, and then obviously we see lots of unboxing, product reviews, advice, entertainment all the time. That's obviously one kind of organic content. But obviously we know that the other kind of content is the advertisements that you were referring to. And these advertisements usually have a business objective or a business purpose aligned to it. For example, are you trying to generate online leads that you can nurture and convert into potential customers, meaning revenue generation, direct or indirect impact on revenue oftentimes? Or you're trying to drive website traffic where you hope to engage and convert these audiences? Are you trying to create some basic awareness so that when people consider the kind of product or service you sell, your brand is in their consideration set. Are you trying to drive reach, meaning if you are doing a new product launch, are you trying to inform as much of a target market as possible? So the objectives for video ads are directly or indirectly always tied to some kind of a business metric, or measured in a on a business dashboard. And even the content, for example, the videos that I wanted to show you early on, which we would hope to do when time permits, they may not be salesy. You see, that's the I always share an interesting quote to you about marketing, and that quote is that the best marketing does not feel like marketing at all. Meaning, they're selling to you, you're being sold to, you're being convinced, right? But you don't even realize that somebody is doing that. And that happens beautifully through organic content. So even though you're not paying for video content, at least in the form of advertisement, though it does cost a lot of money to create good quality video content, but you're not paying for it like you pay for ads. But the thing is that even this content, video content that you're creating, is based on your content strategy, which is something we teach as part of digital marketing at IFIM. So now, going viral, all of you must be wondering, hey, or maybe hoping, can I create a video with the hope that it goes viral, meaning it spreads like virus? And I think it's a very bad choice of word to talk about right now, because everybody is in so scared of COVID-19. So maybe the last word that I want to be using right now. But the key to virality is network effects. There's something called direct network effects and indirect network effects. Because of the connected nature of social media, because what you're sharing with your peer group, with the community, with your tribe, it's a trusted social referral. The point is that people trust peer communication, peer recommendations much more than brand communication or brand recommendations. So you have a much more greater likelihood of going viral online, meaning people will share. And a word that we tend to use is basically amplify your piece of content. Now, you must be wondering, is there an art and science of going viral? What are your thoughts? Give me some thoughts on the chat. Do you think going viral is an art or science? Do you think you can predict it? Give me some thoughts. Let's engage for a moment. Can you predict if a piece of content you create will go viral? You guys can hear me, right? I'm not getting any chat responses. Uh, okay. Okay, finally some responses. Okay. Neha is saying, I think one can't. Interesting. Karan is saying yes. Sugant is saying, actually, it's not predictable. Okay, but somehow it reaches the targeted audience. Okay. Aswat is saying it depends on the nature of the content. Okay. All answers are good answers, actually. So interesting. And Sonam is saying yes. Ankit is saying if you do proper targeting, it can. Barun is talking about sharing. Okay, cool. So, guys, virality is an art and science. I mean, you wake up one morning and suddenly you see something has gone viral. And if you try to figure out, if you try to dissect it and figure out why, you oftentimes cannot understand why it happened. Maybe it was topical, meaning something that people are talking about right now, like, an Amul cartoon always goes viral, because it's always topical. It's about the context and what's happening around us right now. That's why, that's content marketing on a shoestring budget. Tanuj is saying tagging and hashtags. Yeah, I mean, those are best practices, Tanuj. But frankly, most points of view I come across saying that virality cannot be predicted. A silly cat video may go viral one fine morning, but it cannot be predicted. But then you can follow certain best practices, you can follow certain frameworks, you can follow certain guidelines to increase the likelihood of your content, not necessarily videos, going viral. And then there's one framework. um, um, okay, so some tips for creating viral content. Cannot be predicted sure shot. Make it unique, new, fresh, crazy ideas that catch somebody's attention. Make it shareable, like Tanuj was talking about hashtags, using social media chiclets, those small share icons that you see. We call them chiclets in digital marketing. Using video cards at the end of your YouTube videos, encouraging comments, make it short. You'd be surprised that 30% of video drop-offs happen within 2 minutes. So whenever you create any piece of video content, make the first few seconds count, because that's exactly when people in a snap make a decision whether they want to watch the rest of the content with all the attention hooks and mystique and drama you've created or not. Make it remarkable, funny, astonishing, shocking, scary, informational, something that arouses strong emotions of any kind, positive, negative, I would say even disgust at times. Make it enticing. Enticing is more to do with video search engine optimization, which is about how do you do the video title. You guys must have heard this phrase called clickbaits. To my mind, it's not clickbait. It's actually optimizing the video title for search. How do you do the video description? Thumbnail is the image that you see, and you'll be surprised that a lot of click-throughs depend on the thumbnail. And then we just talked about this example of Amul cartoons, which are always about what's going on right now. And they come up with a pretty loony spin, pretty fresh, loony, unique spin on what's going on right now. And they tie it back to the brand. So that's talking about what's currently trending, adding to the conversation. Okay. Um then Karan is saying that, yeah, you're right, Karan. Depends on current need, emotion. Yes, all the things that we just discussed right now. Attention span is interesting. Attention span, if you were to talk to a psychologist in my age where people would not use a lot of digital content, they would read books and newspapers, right? So people of my generation, I'm Gen X, right? My attention span, that time I was reading, the average attention span is 40 minutes, 50 minutes. Present times, because of the fragmentation on digital media and the fact that people are on platforms like WhatsApp and social, and um, it's hopping from one thing to another. So you could possibly argue that the attention spans have been adversely affected in the present age, thanks to digital media. But I was talking about the drop-off point, especially for videos. For 30% of the drop-offs happen within the first 2 minutes. So that's why you always, your opening should be punchy, powerful. It should have an attention hook, because that's the most likely point where you're going to lose viewers. And let's talk about another framework called Contagious. This is from Jonah Berger. I think he's a professor at Wharton. He talked about this framework that I found very interesting. STEPS framework, STEPPS. Uh, um, Social currency, S is for social currency, which means that people care about how they look to others. Meaning, you share something if you want to look good in the eyes of others. I'll talk about it briefly. Triggers. Top of mind means tip of tongue. So always consider the context, which is why Amul cartoons, though they are not videos, are always very popular. Emotion. When we care, we share. So arousing strong emotions. My apologies. Public. Build to show, build to grow. The more public something is, the more likely people will imitate it. And then practical value, news you can use, some practical utility or value in daily life. And then stories, we talked about storytelling and how do you build a brand image through storytelling early on in the webinar. Videos are great at telling brand stories, so that information travels under what seems like idle chatter on the internet, in public spaces or social media spaces. But essentially stories are vessels. So you should build a Trojan horse literally a narrative or a story that people can consume, share, embed, etc., etc. So that's a nice, interesting framework that I read about. And this was Professor Jonah Berger at Wharton about why there's contagion in some kind of content. Barun is asking a question. Sir, how about people who are paid to make content viral intentionally? Generally, trolls creating people. Trolls. As a marketer, I don't want to talk about trolls. That is not what a brand wants to associate with. But then I do, Barun, want to talk about user generated content because a lot of brands have a user generated content or a consumer generated content strategy. Let me just see if you can see me well. Yeah, of course, you can see me well. Okay, guys, cool. Uh, you see, Barun, you see all these nice GoPro videos? GoPro doing crazy adventurous stuff? Yes. Okay, cool. That is user generated content. You know what GoPro does? It crowdsources all the content, meaning it'll give you a GoPro Hero. Right now, the company is not doing all that well financially, but otherwise, they're an awesome company, and people would strap that GoPro on top of their helmets, and then they would go jet skiing, or they would put on their wingsuits, or they would do skiing or some kind of adventure sports, and you'd be surprised, or even skydiving, and then all kinds of crazy stuff, because GoPro is about adventure and thrill and uh, all that kind of stuff, like Red Bull. So that is crowdsourced content. All that amazing footage, GoPro crowdsources it. It's not GoPro's organic content, because people are the heroes here. They are the ones driving action. It crowdsources it. It is all UGC, user generated content. So a lot of brands, I say, have a UGC or consumer generated content strategy as part of their regular marketing strategy. But trolls is something that you want to stay away with, because they are always pushing some agenda or a negative point of view or some meme or something. You cannot discount it, because it's a phenomenon on the internet, and people do develop brand perceptions, or it shapes their thinking. But from a marketing perspective, I would rather talk about user generated content as part of my regular content marketing strategy. And then there's it's a different topic altogether, how you go about encouraging user generated content. How do you make sure that it is aligned to brand objectives and brand values and brand goals, and it is basically on brand, as opposed to any kind of troll content or useless kind of content. So there's this strategy, and there's a way to kind of do it, and maybe we can talk about it some other time. So yeah, this is another video I wanted to roll out. Let's say coming to the end of the class, two videos. Video production step by step. First, identify your audience. Understand the persona, the brand persona, their content preferences, what kind of content they're already consuming on what kind of platforms. Is it Facebook, Insta, YouTube, Reddit, Dig, what have you? And then build an engagement strategy. Then you do planning and concept, meaning what kind of content will resonate with your target persona, your target audience. What is your core message, the core story that you want to tell? What will be the tone, style, funky, lighthearted, humorous, formal, stodgy? Do the script, the venue, the crew, the actors, the props, and all the equipment part of it. And then you go about producing the video, raw footage. And then obviously a lot of post production work, which is editing and processing. And that's where you also do the treatments like animation or whiteboarding or any kind of special effects. And then finally, after you've done the video, choosing and uploading to a platform, you can obviously host it on your website, but not the best idea. Uh, it's much better, because you have these video distribution channels like YouTube, Vimeo, MetaCafe, or Dailymotion. The reason you should actually have a brand channel on these sites is because these sites already have dedicated traffic, and what you want is eyeballs. What you want is engagement, uh, and you may not have that traffic or that intent on your website. So probably you want to host videos on these kind of sites and embed it on your website or your own media properties, including social media. So each option has its pros and cons. All right. Okay, guys. So now, how do you optimize videos for easy discovery? You've taken the time to create great video content. What if people don't discover it? How useless is your content if nobody's going to talk about it? Okay. So the thing is that when you talk about text content, quote unquote, it can be read by search engines like Google or Bing or Yahoo. But even though the technology is improving right now to for artificial intelligence or for crawlers and stuff like that to understand what images and video are about. For example, if you in artificial intelligence, if you learned about Hinton recognizing images with 98, 99% of accuracy compared to humans. So the technology is definitely improving. And you probably even heard of AI creating deep fake videos, which are as good or not better than original videos. But that's a different discussion. But the key point I'm trying to make here is that uh, still, even presently, you rely on a lot of text or semantic understanding. The word semantic has to do with language. So, how you use key phrases or descriptions, etc. And that's what you need to do to rank high for blended results on Google or internal search. Blended results are, guys, you search for something on Google, you entered a text string and you get images and videos and tweets and all. Those guys are called blended results. Okay. And then your challenge is not only to rank high on popular search engines like Google, but also internal search. So, both use their own algorithms. And all these search engines, internal or external, they rank results based on relevance and inferred intent. Inferred intent meaning there is some explicit intent in the search query or search phrase that you have entered in the search engine. But what is the implied intent? Going one step further, inferred intent. Okay. So each video sharing site uses its own algorithm. Google uses Googlebot. YouTube uses its own proprietary algorithm. They do not make it public. They do not uh, make it public about what factors they use in ranking videos. And then video search engine optimization is about using key phrases, metadata, and other factors of relevance to help rank videos high. So guys, when you want to optimize videos with search engine optimization, let me tell you, it's pretty interesting and challenging at the same time because, let me share some personal detail with you. We've started a cookery channel at home, and it's just been a couple of months, and we are up against some 50 or 40 established competitors in the market. So we know practically, I'm doing it right now when I'm optimizing videos for search, how challenging it is to drive organic rankings. So video title is very important. A lot of people use clickbaits for titles. That works only after you have an established channel. Typically, when you are starting out, it's no use. You need to use appropriate key phrases right in the smack in the beginning of the title. Use informative long descriptions. Use your targeted key phrases as early in the description as possible. Um, tags. Well, if you look at YouTube, they say that tags help categorize the video. And if it is not in English or you're using some other language, it helps you understand. It helps YouTube understand what kind of video content it is about. But YouTube claims, you may agree with it, not agree with it, that tags are not a very, very important ranking factor. Uh, okay. Engagement is very important. Your comments, subscriptions, sharing, ratings, embedding, all that. Engagement is very important. Video cards and end screens, I hope you understand what they are. For example, when you end a YouTube video, you'll probably see a couple of end screens where I may point you to other brand videos, right? Those are end screens. And video cards are about, for example, if you're having a cooking channel and if I'm using a certain brand of a mixer grinder or microwave, I may use a video card to promote that particular brand, where you have to tell YouTube explicitly that you are actually promoting certain products as part of their guidelines. And then optimize the thumbnail. which is the image that you see, and a lot of click-through rate depends on how good and attractive the thumbnail is. And then I could not overemphasize upload videos regularly because YouTube loves fresh content. Okay, a new video is always given a precedence and greater importance over an existing, old, and even popular video, because otherwise people would simply not be motivated to create high quality content on YouTube. Engaging the community, very important. Listen, or what you heard of this term called social listening. Otherwise, the audience won't stay hooked for long. So respond to comments, sharing, embedding, all that. And think of your audience as a large online focus group. So take their feedback into account when planning new videos, because what they're saying is basically real-time feedback. Think of them as a focus group for market research, and factor that into your upcoming videos as to what kind of audience you have, what kind of content they like. It's basically called optimization on the fly. So let me take a quick feedback, guys. We are moving to YouTube analytics. Are you guys understanding most or all of I'm saying right now? Some quick feedback. Uh, okay. Are you having fun? Are you enjoying it? Okay, cool. Uh, okay, and I hope I get some time to play some interesting videos for you guys, which are actually prime examples of how you go about marketing videos. Thanks, Situ, Neha, Adisha, Amritapa, Sonam, Tanuj, Basabjeet, Barun, Aswat, Neha, Disha, Situ, Ankit again, Karan. Okay, thank you guys. Let's kind of stay focused for some more time, and I'll pick up the pace just a little bit because I've been going pretty slow, I guess, and we have a lot of content to cover. So YouTube analytics, guys, you can get individual video analytics on YouTube, or you can get YouTube analytics in aggregate, meaning watch time is a very important factor on YouTube. The more the watch time, it's like chicken and egg. The more watch time you have, the greater your rankings. So it's like, if you're doing well, you do even better. But if you're not doing well, you don't tend to do better. Interesting. So how long are people watching my videos? How many views do I have? What is the average view duration of my content? This is an important ranking factor on YouTube. Retention of audience. We discussed the fact that whenever you create a video, make the first, I would say, not even minutes, first few seconds count. How consistently are people watching my videos? What time of the day are they interacting with me? When do they stop watching? What is a drop off point? Can I edit my video where they're dropping off and make it interesting so that I can arrest the drop off? Video retention is obviously calculated on the percentage of the video watched. Demographics, what age group, what gender, what countries are my views coming from? Um, what kind of people they are, you know, um, playback locations, where in the world are people watching my videos from? Are they discovering from within YouTube, meaning internal search of YouTube, or they are coming across your content which is being shared on social media, or it is appearing on Google as blended search results? What traffic sources, okay, and devices, are they coming from mobile, desktop, smart TVs, game consoles? Remember, the definition of mobile is pretty broad. It's not only a smartphone, it's also your tablets and gaming consoles. Okay, so that's something YouTube analytics can tell you. More, it gives you interaction report. So, subscribers you have, likes and dislikes, how many of your videos are in playlists, uh, comments, shares, cards, and end screens. End screens, I told you, when you watching a video on YouTube, you will see small screens on towards the end of the video that you can click to go to more brand videos. Or cards are about sponsored or promoted products or services. You must be wondering, when do we start making money on YouTube? Does YouTube have a guideline? And the answer is yes. For your brand channel, you have to have a minimum of 4,000 hours of watch time and 1,000 subscribers before you can start monetization of your video. So guys, a lot of people think, hey, let's get on YouTube and let's just hit the jackpot. Well, there are people doing it. If you look at PewDiePie, have you heard of PewDiePie, the gamer? PewDiePie, Felix, I get that. That's his name, PewDiePie. Yeah, yeah. PewDiePie was, I think he's just gotten off YouTube for a while, temporarily, but historically, he's a gamer, and he's the highest earning. Yeah, he's the highest earning individual on YouTube. And since I was talking about my personal experience with a cookery channel, it's Nisha Madhulika. Uh, she has about, I think, 11 or 13 million subscribers. She's the most popular uh, uh, YouTuber, one of the most popular, I think, in India. I heard of Sandeep Maheshwari. Have you heard of Sandeep Maheshwari in India? YouTuber. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Interesting. Yes, all of you have. Good. Yeah. So, you just don't hit YouTube and start making money. You got to go through the grind. Yes, he's an inspiration speaker. That's right, Basabjeet. Good. All of you have heard of him. Did by any chance did you even hear of Nisha Madhulika? She's ahead of Sandeep Maheshwari. Her story is very interesting. Okay, she had an empty nest syndrome, meaning her kids grew up and left home, and she had nothing to do. And then she was going through all those blues, meaning the kids have left home and uh, they've kind of grown up and left. And that was a point when she started to create this channel, and that's how it took off. So, guys, just speeding up a little bit, how do users discover video online? First is direct URL navigation. URL is, I mean, if you were to want to go to Citibank for your net banking, you will type www.online.citibank.co.in just because you're so familiar with it. So direct URL navigation, it basically relies on branding and awareness, and then advertisements and promotions, which is about paid advertising or paid media that we just talked about it, and then recommendations, relying on email links, social sharing, social bookmarking, like on StumbleUpon, Dig, Reddit. I think Dig is gone, so it's basically Reddit. And then organic search. Organic search is different than paid search. So whenever you do a search query on Google or Bing or Yahoo, whatever, the unpaid results that drive the highest number of click-throughs, those are organic results. Okay, so we just talked about vertical search and blended search on Google. For example, on Google, you can search by images, right? Or you can search by video content, or you can search by specialized kind of content. And that, guys, is known as vertical search. And if you were to type Lady Gaga to the right, you would see probably a knowledge graph detailing all her albums, the year she was born, etc., etc. So that's a knowledge graph to the right, and then you might see her tweets, videos, YouTube videos, or concert videos, images, etc., etc. So those are blended results. By blended, I mean different kinds of results. Okay. So we talked about this early on. Three kinds of media: paid media, earned media, owned media. And as this figure shows, they all overlap with each other, meaning certain kind of media can have characteristics of paid media as well as earned media. Or we talked about the Facebook page, which is owned media, on which through which you can run campaigns. That's paid media. Or you can drive organic engagement on your posts. That's earned media. So the key takeaway from this slide is that when you leverage multiple kinds of media, they have a multiplicative or an exponential impact. Okay, so when you talk about earned video promotion, okay, which is dependent upon search optimization, video search engine optimization, uh, I told you early on that the technology for bots or artificial intelligence to understand video content is improving, but language or key phrases or semantics is still the heart of it. So titles, descriptions, tags, somewhat important, though YouTube claims they're not that important. Playlist additions or inbound links. Inbound links are how many people are linking to your content. We also call them backlinks, okay? and they are like a vote, a social vote, because if people link to your content, that means that they find it engaging, relevant, authoritative, etc., etc. So it is like a trusted social referral. Okay. And other factors of relevance when you talk about earned video promotion are a number of video views. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more views you have, the greater the organic ranking, because YouTube considers that as a signal of relevance. Your brand channel views, the ratings, the comments, the shares, the embeds that you get, the total number of subscribers to your channel, also the age of the video. And that's interesting because I just told you that if uh, all the existing channels and videos that are popular were to hog all their rankings and limelight on YouTube, then nobody would be inspired to create fresh content. So I've personally discovered that whenever we post a new video, we get some extra love in the first 6 to 8 hours, meaning we get a small bump in our rankings and a small boost or a small bump. And that's basically the cue YouTube gives for people to discover new kinds of content. So as I told you, YouTube loves fresh content. Then social sharing, we talked about that a while ago. Sharing on social networks, aggregators, or social bookmarking sites, it increases the likelihood of virality. And just a while back, we discussed the Jonas Burger's steps framework to improve the likelihood of going viral. And these, well, if you ask Google officially, right, uh, do social backlinks, do they influence rankings? Google's official answer is no. They don't influence backlink. They don't influence rankings, right? Because they use a no follow attribute, meaning yes, somebody is linking to you, but Google will not consider the link as a factor towards ranking. But unofficially, most people understand and believe and agree that social links and social shares do influence your search engine rankings. And then let's talk about video ads. I'm sure we've talked a lot about video content. Do you want to talk about video ads, the different kinds of ads that you see on YouTube? Because initially, when we started out our discussion, we talked about two different kinds of video. One is organic video content, and the other is paid ads on YouTube. You guys want to talk about that? What different kinds of ads you can do on YouTube, and then how do you go about targeting those ads? Because I think initially one of you was okay, good. One of you was asking how do you go about targeting people, because the targeting can be done extremely granularly on the online channels. So the typical True View is the name of the YouTube proprietary format. In-stream video ads are the ones, meaning that they play when you're streaming a video. They're skippable after 5 seconds. They can be pre-roll, meaning beginning of the video, mid-roll, or end roll, right? They can be up to 12 seconds to 6 minutes long. And the view of the ad is incremented at 30 seconds or video completion, whatever is earlier, which means uh, a brand will have to pay YouTube once 30 seconds of a video ad has been watched. If you skip the ad before 30 seconds, if at all it is a skippable ad, right, the brand does not pay YouTube unless the video ad itself is shorter than 30 seconds, in which case it is video completion, right? The non-skippable video ads, which we all find very irritating, especially when we are in anticipation of watching some interesting content. They can be inserted pre-roll, mid-roll, end-roll. They can be up to 15 or 20 seconds long. And then the TrueView video discovery ads, they come up as video thumbnails, appear on the right-hand side of your video view page or search results page or even YouTube homepage. There's no limit to these discovery ads. And then bumper ads are non-skippable. And this is a new format that YouTube has released, and it is basically a maximum of 6 seconds. And we just talked about video ads, and I'm sure you have seen display ads on YouTube as well. We'll just spend a couple of minutes on this. So if you have seen on the bottom of the video, a semi-transparent overlay on the bottom 20% of the video. Do you remember seeing it? A video is playing out, and on the bottom 20%, yeah, you see a static display ad. That's an overlay ad. Okay. And sponsored cards, like we just discussed, are those small rectangular cards about products or services that you're promoting in a video, right? And display ads happen only on desktops, not on mobile devices, because the screen real estate is very limited on mobile. They appear on the right hand side of the video player on screen. They could be image or even a dynamic animation. So that was a quick word on that. Now, initially, somebody was making this interesting point that I'm doing a Google search, and I took this insurance example on. I'm doing a Google search, and spooky enough, I go to YouTube, and wow, is it magic or is it somebody following me? That I see an ad about the product or service that I was interested in, looking for, searching for. So let us just quickly spend some time on how do you target your audience on YouTube? Okay. There's a lot of technology going behind the scenes that I don't want to talk about right now because of paucity of time, but you can target people based on their interests. Meaning, if somebody is interested in vacations, is researching vacations in Hawaii or Alps or wherever in the world. Probably it's a very bad time to talk about vacations right now, but based on interests of the audience. Affinity audience. Affinity means likelihood, propensity. So, what kind of people have an affinity to buy my product? Suppose I'm selling a large screen LCD TV, 8K TV or 4K TV, then affinity, I will decide, okay, people who are well established in their jobs, high income individuals, people who probably own a high end car or a vehicle. So I can build an affinity audience, okay, who are more likely to buy my kind of product or service. Custom affinity audiences are I can upload my customer list in a secure encrypted manner, and the custom affinity audience will mimic my existing customers. Intent is people who are displaying a certain intent, to buy a certain product or service. In market audience is about the buyer's journey, people who are actively researching about buying certain kind of product or service. Life events, marriage, divorce, children born, etc., etc. Remarketing or retargeting is something interesting. Uh, uh, I'm seeing a question from Karan. I'll just come to it. Give me one moment. Guys, so remarketing is something very common. You guys go to make my trip, make an airline reservation, don't check out, and suddenly on the web, when you're browsing, you see display ads for the same ticket that you were trying to book from Make My Trip or Expedia, whatever. Have you seen that? Yeah, that's remarketing. Okay. Let me give you even a simpler example. You add a product to your Amazon cart, but don't check out, and then you start seeing ads for the same product from Amazon, right? You all experience it, right? Even a reminder mail. Okay, that's basically remarketing or retargeting. Okay, and then demographic groups: age, gender, income level, etc., etc. So this is how you go about targeting your paid ads on YouTube. Now let me come to Karan's question. Are the overlay ads powerful? I mean, do they create an impact compared to the in-stream skippable and non-skippable ads? That's an interesting question. Guys, would you somewhat agree with me that non-skippable ads on YouTube are a bit of a nuisance because you just can't skip them? Thank God they're short enough. Because if you're watching some interesting content and you come up with a pesky ad that you have to watch, you can't skip. You are actually irritated, right? Similarly, opinion is divided about pre-roll skippable ads. If they are compelling, if they are compelling, people will watch. But then overlay ads are pretty interesting. Uh, Karan, because overlay ads do not disrupt the viewing experience. You can continue to watch the video you're watching. You just have to put up with a small distraction. You're seeing a marketing message while you're watching a video, but at least your experience is not being disrupted. Uh, Tanuj is saying video ads help because people are eager to know what the ads is about and they do a detailed search. That is correct, Tanuj. Actually, you've pointed towards something interesting. If you look at click through rates, the percentage of clicks divided by impressions, meaning you may have an ad, but you may not have a click on it. Banners are the lowest. Okay. Then you have animated banners, rising star formats. Okay. They do better. But if you compare all different kinds of ad formats, uh, Tanuj, to your point, the click through rates or the engagement rates with video ads are actually the highest. Okay. So, yes, are YouTube ads a good strategy? Depending on the brand, depending on your marketing strategy, they can play a very, very important role. Okay. Own video promotion. Own meaning your Facebook page, your website, your own media has a video ad. Guys, I'll rush through this. Again, page title, video title, video file name is interesting. When we guys upload a video, we make sure that even the file name corresponds to the key phrase that we are targeting to. Then optimizing the text on the web page or social media page where you're embedding or hosting the video. The page should complement the video content. You can also use text to speech software to transcribe the video and add it to video metadata. And then you can also use social media chiclets, those sharing signs that literally look like chewing gums, right? On social networks, blogs, or aggregators, and post on social media with strong CTA. CTA stands for call to action. Watch now, try now, you know, on your home pages or main landing pages. I mean, obviously, you can promote your content on email newsletters. So lots and lots of different kinds of tactics. So we just talked about the fact that there you have to have a certain amount of watch time, 4,000 hours of watch time, and 1,000 subscribers at the minimum before you can monetize your content on YouTube. But there is something extra as well. They have certain guidelines. First, you need to provide them documentation that you own the commercial rights for audio and video content. For example, I have a friend who buys rights to old Tamil, Telugu, Malayali, and Kannada movies, and she has her channels. And every time she posts a movie on one of her channels, she has multiple channels. She has to share documentation with YouTube, saying that she has legal rights to put that content. Second is your content has to comply with YouTube community guidelines, meaning, I cannot be promoting hate speech, discriminatory speech, inflammatory speech, any kind of objectionable content. Okay. I cannot be talking about violence. Okay. Either you have to be the content creator or you have to have the permission to use it commercially, and your content should be advertiser friendly. You should not be talking about something repulsive, something off brand that brands may not want to advertise on, right? Your content should be brand friendly. So these are some additional monetization criteria. Now I promised you that we'll talk a little bit about Facebook video because we've been talking so much about YouTube. Guys, viewers on Facebook, when they watch a video, they have a very different intent than they watch it on YouTube. Okay. So remember, Facebook videos need to be very short, usually under 60 seconds. Somebody talked about short attention spans, and that is correct because unfortunately, digital media and social media has impacted our attention spans. Make the first 4 seconds of your video count on Facebook. Lots of video options, live, 360, and 360 live. Let your viewer know right in the beginning what to expect to entice them, to encourage them to click. Include a CTA call to action early on, like watch now, and since most Facebook videos are watched without sound, any of you working and using Facebook at the same time, and is scrolling down your news feed and a video starts auto playing everybody would get to know that you're using Facebook at work. Literally, you wouldn't want that to happen. So most Facebook videos are watched without sound, because of which it's a good idea to use closed captions. And then Facebook also allows video ads and mid-roll ad insertion in other videos. So guys, two more slides, three more slides, and we can be done. Maybe four slides, and then maybe we have some time to play the videos. So good, bad, advantages. Videos are great for engaging viewers, growing your social media. You can use inbuilt analytics like YouTube analytics or Facebook analytics, or even third-party analytics software to figure out how to promote your videos organically. And if you have an organic presence, for example, my own channel, and I'm finding it hard to get traction on that, I can rely on paid medium and get the ball rolling before I start getting organic traction. Challenges, videos have to be focused. They all look very easy, but guys, coming up constantly with new and interesting ideas can be very challenging initially. In the beginning, when you are shooting videos, editing videos, I think it's an initial challenge. But to my own experience, once you do it for a couple of months, you become very, very comfortable. And then there's all kinds of very easy to use software. It has limitations, but it can do help you do semi-professional videos. And then optimizing videos for search, which is video search and optimization, can take a while to show results. How do you measure success? The metrics that align with the business objectives directly or indirectly: video views, full length, complete, partial, incomplete; playthrough rate, which is the number of viewers who watch the video to completion expressed as a percentage; and the engagement rate, the number of viewers who participate with a video by sharing, commenting, liking, etc. But more importantly, as a marketer, I would talk about sales lift. For example, if I'm doing a video campaign on YouTube, if I have my own YouTube brand channel, or maybe I'm doing a paid campaign, I would directly or indirectly like to measure the impact on my sales or sales lift, or making sure that people have developed favorable impressions or perception of my brand, to put it in the consideration set. And there are ways and means of doing it, which you'll probably learn about when you join IFM. Additional metrics to track: average view time, what conversions or sales are assisted by videos, the click-through rates, and the drop-off points. And guys, lots and lots of tools. AdWords for video, very popular. Since YouTube is owned by Google, if you have an AdWords account through which you run your video campaigns, you can link your AdWords for video and YouTube channel and Google Analytics. YouTube Mogul, which is a video advertising tool; Feed and Brightcurve. To share a personal secret, for our channel, we guys are using a tool called vidIQ. So they have a free version, and we have taken a paid version. There are two kinds of paid versions. One is more expensive, one is a little cheaper. So right now we are making do with this tool called vidIQ, to help optimize our videos for search. That's all, guys. Thank you so much for your attention. Let's have any questions. Aditya is asking, okay. Tarun has also asked a question. Video ads help. Let me come back to your questions, guys. Video ads help because people are eager to know what the ad is about, and then they do a detailed search of that advertisement. Very right, Tanush. That is correct. Because if you talk about this concept of the buyer's journey, when you are evaluating a product or a service, then video ads are a great way to inform, engage, entice people to discover your brand. Aditya is saying, can Facebook be used for targeting Gen X age group? Absolutely, yes. That's a very good point, Aditya. You know why? This is probably something we can talk about in a social media webinar. But you all know very well already that different kinds of age groups or generations prefer different kinds of platforms. Like, for example, Snapchatters are teenagers, very young people, and Facebook is typically relatively used by older demographic. Okay, so Aditya, yes, Facebook is can not only be used for targeting Gen X group, it is probably the ideal platform to target Gen X group. Okay. Tanuj is saying using easy caption or hashtags. Yeah, hashtags are good for discovering content. That is correct, Tanuj. It is good for categorizing content, discovering content, or hitting up on new kinds of content. Yes, totally agree with that. And it's probably a way of video search engine optimization, because when I upload my own videos, in the video description, right at the very top, I add some hashtags. 4 or 5. YouTube does not display all of them, but they pick 2 or 3 hashtags. And but how do I decide my hashtags? I do keyword research, for which I use a keyword research tool based on which I decide what key phrase people are searching for, and then I use that in my hashtag, because I do want search volume for video discovery. Does it make sense, Tanuj? And Barun is talking about, when we include ads, a payment is made by whom? YouTube or the brand? Okay, Barun, thanks for asking me this question. So we just discussed in the webinar that a video view for an ad view is minimum of 30 seconds, unless the ad itself is shorter than 30 seconds. Okay. So every time that happens, depending on the ad format we are talking about, the advertiser will pay YouTube. But if the ad is being played on a brand channel, let us say my own brand channel, on my content, right? YouTube will share a part of the revenue with me. Okay. And YouTubers are not allowed, as per the contract, to share their earnings. They can't make it public. So when we talked about PewDiePie, it is public knowledge that he was, because I think he's just got off YouTube right some time ago, but he's been all-time highest paid YouTuber. Okay, I hope that answers your question, Barun. Um, uh, Tanuj is saying the ad must be creative, which attracts people from. Oh yes, oh yes. Otherwise, if it's unskippable, people find it irritating. Bumper ads can be a maximum of 6 seconds long, but if the ad is interesting in the very first few seconds, people will watch it. Okay, they are effective. Okay, it is it is actually when you're watching very interesting content, and then if a brand were to put non-skippable ads, those are a nuisance, and smart marketers don't do that. They don't do that, because then actually you would start hating that brand for disrupting your viewing experience on YouTube. Okay, guys, any more questions before we call it a day? You have 24 participants. Any more questions, guys? Were you able to follow everything that we discussed? Feedback. Oh, can we look at those videos? Yeah. Tanuj says everything good. Neha wants to watch videos. Barun is happy. Okay. Karan is talking about IGTV. Karan, what the heck is IGTV? I have no clue. Ankit, do show your cookery channel. Okay, Ankit, connect with me on LinkedIn. Yeah, I will, because I don't want to broadcast my cookery channel URL on a official webinar from IFIN, but definitely Instagram television. Oh, okay, okay, Tanuj, I'm getting a little old. I think I'll have to figure out more stuff about Instagram television. Ankit has loved the webinar. Awesome. Let me play a short video. Let me see how that goes. Um, and then let me ask our IT person, if I were to play a video here, it should play. Okay, let me play a short video, uh, and then let's see how that goes. And if you like it, I will play a long video. Okay. Okay, this is a long video. This is a short video. Okay, guys, let's rock and roll. Yeah.
Will it blend? That is the question. I love my new iPad. It does a ton of cool things. But will it blend? That is the question. Doesn't quite fit in the jar, but I can take care of that. No! I knew I could get the iPad in a BlendTech Total Blender. I think I'll press the iBlend button. Whew. Oh, pad smoke. Don't breathe this. Ah, that was one tough pad.
So, guys, you saw this video from BlendTech. They make. You saw this video, right? You got this video. You were able to listen to the audio as well, right? It was clear, right? Swat Ankit, yeah. So you see, BlendTech it costs $600 to $800. It's an industrial grade blender, and that was a CEO of the company. And what this guy does is he takes interesting objects like an iPhone or a baseball or an iPad, and he blends it in a BlendTech blender. This is not an ad, okay? This has been going on for a while, but don't you agree that if you are in the market for buying an industrial grade blender, based on this kind of video content, it's not a paid ad, okay? It would do this kind of content, or a video would do far better than any kind of a paid campaign. Would you agree with that? Okay, good. Yeah, we all agree, right? A pretty popular Will It Blend series on YouTube. Check it out. He takes all kinds of interesting stuff, baseball, and he'll blend it in a blender. And next time, after you watch one of these videos and you're in the market, hey, I need to buy a blender, the first name that comes to your mind is a BlendTech blender. Are you guys up for watching a 7 or 8 minute video? Is it okay to defame Apple promotion of a blender? Very good question, Aditya. We are not defaming. We are not defaming Apple in any way, but that's a very interesting question. I'm very sure that before producing these kind of videos, this guy would have consulted his legal team. It's no defamation. But that's a very, very good question, because I'm very sure he would have done a check with his legal team whether Apple can file a lawsuit saying that you're trying to show that my products are not strong enough, sturdy enough, they are fragile, right? And he would have gotten a legal okay. I really like that question, and I'm very happy that you've actually thought of that, Aditya. Uh, right? You guys want to watch another video, 7 to 8 minutes? We've actually been online for like, gosh, it's like almost 90 minutes. Should we call it a day, or you guys are up for another video? Oh, video. Okay, Neha is saying video. Let's see that 22 participants. Most of them have stuck around. Let's only one vote. Neha, connect with me on LinkedIn. Navya is saying yes. Okay, video. Karan is saying yes. Tanuj is saying let's watch. Vanshika, fine, good. Disha, Barun. Okay, guys. Yeah, this is really good. And this is really, really good. And I'm sure your generation will be able to relate to it very well. you love me? Watch me scream, burning on the trees in amazement. I'm on fire. You know, for God's sakes, the door now it breaks the beat. I'm over dying at the door in amazement. Cause I'm on fire. Can I get a light, for all the bleeding and the fire? I just want to be gracious. That we can taste it. Taste the smoke. Taste the smoke. Can I get a light, man? For all the bleeding and the fire. I just want to be gracious. It'll be okay, baby. Guys, how was that? What was that? That was a organic content, Red Bull. How was that? Yeah, chain reaction. Yeah. So, do you think any video ad can do this kind of magic? Yeah, entertainment plus ad. That is correct. That's why I told you in the beginning of my class webinar that the best marketing does not feel like marketing at all, right? So they've sold you on Red Bull. They've not paid for it. I mean, the Kluge build. I mean, did take a lot of time and money to build, but look at the impact. So, guys, dot 90 minutes. We end the webinar. So again, I had a great time talking to you, and uh, I hope to see all of you at IFIM as soon as we open up, and we are doing some cool stuff out here. Lots and lots of interesting stuff in all kinds of areas, whatever be your area of interest. So with this, we sign off now. See you, and stay safe, all of you. Have a good time. Bye. Take care. Thank you, guys.